Okay, so this is why to add an assignment, which is the first kind and the most basic kind of Moodle activity. An assignment is just that. It mimics a traditional assignment that you give in class, whether you put it on the board or you hand out a page for it, or you just explain it to the kids, or you tell them it's section 1 through 4 of some set of questions in the textbook. An assignment is just that. And the ways that we get assignments back are going to change based on how we set up this assignment. The reason to add assignments is several reasons. Number one, at least as high school teachers, we know that half the time the page is left in class, the other half time it's in the trash can, and the other half time it's the bottom of their yeah, I know I had three halves. Anyway, at the bottom of their locker, and they don't remember exactly what the assignment was. So by putting it in Moodle, instead of putting it on the board or handing something out, they can re-access what the assignment was at any given time. Also, a Moodle assignment gives us a place to grade our items so that they automatically go in the grade book, as well as making them automatically show up on the student calendar so they know when things are done. So that's the why of doing assignment, and I'm combining this video, the why and the how, because the why is almost self-explanatory. So how do we add an assignment? We click, obviously, we turn editing on again, and then we go down. You can see I've put some labels in here to break out my resources for my assignments. Add an activity. An assignment is the top, really level 1 activity. When I hit add, an assignment has a lot of areas to it that we can do things. Up here, the assignment name is both what they see as a link and what goes in the gradebook. You may want to try to come up with a schema to keep those names shorter. Like I start everything with the chapter so that I can organize it in my gradebook easier. And then what the assignment is, I'm going to put genetics project or genetic project. Here in the description is where we can put everything that we would normally put in it. If you've got one already written up that you want to use in there, you can just copy and paste that right in there, and then you've got all your stuff right there for the students to see. There is absolutely no reason to hand them a piece of paper with this. They've got access to it anytime, anywhere on the web from any device if you put it on Moodle. So it obviously saves paper. I didn't actually do this. I just stole it from somewhere on the web. Again, if you need more room to edit, you can drag this down or go down and hit the full screen button if you want to see more area while we're writing up our project. Now, along with this, we can also add instruction in there. You can have an assignment that has not only the project, but a video review of it. You can, again, add pictures, links, anything you can add in that area of videos, whatever you can add in this, and they'll be able to see it. The advantage, again, of having it right on here is screen reader will work. If you hand out or post a PDF, it is multiple steps to get the screen reader to work for student, but right here they're going to be able to use it right out of the box. They can still print it, do everything else from there. But let's say you've got a PDF of the exact same thing that you want students to be able to download. That's what this additional files is for. You can put any number of additional files inside there. So if I've got some documents that I want to add that are part of this project, I can just drag them right there. You see there's a document, there's a PDF. You can add any number of things to that that they can then access directly. So down here we go to availability next. Availability only has by default when you want it to be on the calendar. I can click on here and say this is going to be due March 20th. You can put a specific time in. I put the day it's due and I just leave it there. You might want to say it's due right in the first thing in the morning at 1:01 so that you know if they did it that day or if they got it done the night before, whatever. You can put that in however you want. Now, as with all things, we have tried to make it so only the things you need show up. However, there are more options, and by hitting show more you can see those more options. The due date is what already showed up, and by default if you put a due date it's also going to give a remind me grade. You can see that it did it a week from today, which is ridiculous. So if you put in a due date, you might want to fix that remind me to grade by date. I might turn that off. And that's just going to give you a little thing in email that says, hey, grade these things. I like leaving that off. So then down here under submission types, what kind of submission? Is it an online text? Is it a file submission? I have to click how I want to do it. And if it's something traditional, they're going to hand into you, you uncheck all those things. So you can say it's not online and it's not a file. If it was online, it gives them a text box to put things in, and that's how I get Google Docs. I ask them to give me a link to the Google Doc there. And if it's a file submission, you can say how many files can they upload. And it defaults to 20. But maybe you only want 1 or 2, you put in what that is, and you can put the upload size to. You can see it goes all the way down from 10K up to whatever this course limit is, which is 256 meg, which is very large. You can also say, I only want to take document files, so don't give me anything else. You can type that in there and you hit choose, and it'll say, oh, what kind of files are you saying that you want? I only want documents. So I'm going to go down here. Look, it says I already did Word document, but I'll do either one of those kind of Word documents. And then I can just go ahead and close this. So now it says, if I didn't here, I forgot to hit, I think there's a submit at the bottom. There we go, save changes. So now only a Word or a Word 2007 on, it says 2007, 2016 is also DocX, are the only things this student can upload to here if it's a paper that they're doing. So you can be very restrictive. I'll be honest, I almost never do that. They never upload the wrong thing. But you could do that if you wanted to. So that's online, file submissions, how many files. The next thing down is feedback type. It defaults to that you can type in feedback or you can annotate a PDF, which means that if they submitted a file, it'll turn it into a PDF that you can draw and stamp and type on to give them comments. I leave the feedback alone, just so you know. There's no really reason to do that. I also leave the submission settings alone. You can make it so they have to click a submit button and that they have to say, yes, I did not plagiarize this. That only tends to cause problems, so I leave those things alone as they are. You can see notifications is closed. But if you want to get emails, so by default it's only going to tell you if things are late, because I only want to know if they're turned in late because I look at one time for all the other ones. But you could say you get an email every time somebody submits. I would avoid this one because then you're going to get an email every single time somebody changes something too. Grade, how many points it's worth, and where these points are going to go to. So maybe this is a 20-point assignment and I want it to go in my third quarter section of my course. Categories have to already be set up in order for you to choose them. If you don't have categories set up in your course already, it's going to just say not categorized and give you no choices. So setting up grade categories is a follow-on to this that I should have done maybe ahead of time on setting up course categories, particularly for those new teachers that don't have those set up yet. Access restriction and activity completion are advanced activities for level 2 and level 3 teachers. I won't even go into that. So if I'm done with this, I hit save and return to course. And now, when students come in, they click on that genetics project, they see the whole thing, and down at the bottom they'll have a way to submit. You can see they have links to those things that we added in addition to the project itself for this assignment. It also just went in our gradebook, and it came over here automatically because I put a date on it when that thing is due, and they'll see that every single time they come onto Moodle as upcoming activities when things are coming due. So that is a Moodle assignment. I think I went over all the blocks and all the checkboxes there that are the important ones to get to. The biggest thing with assignment is to put all your information in there that you would normally tell them. Again, there's really no reason to give them paper. There's no reason to write it on the board. I just put it in there and I show it on the board and say, hey, this is where the assignment is. I go over it while it's projected up on the board.